Welcome to the Maine Real Estate Roundtable podcast. I'm Bobbie Grenier, your trusted guide to navigating the world of real estate in Maine. Get ready to debunk mortgage myths, unravel real estate mysteries, and learn tips to avoid costly mistakes. Whether you're an industry pro, an overwhelmed buyer, confused seller, or simply curious about life in Maine, this is the podcast for you. Hey there, and welcome to the first ever bonus episode of the Maine Real Estate Roundtable podcast. I'm your host, Bobbie, and normally this is a podcast where we talk about all things Maine real estate. But today we're doing something a little different. Now, I'm a bit of a planner, but I threw that out the window today because I had to get this episode out to you all. I'm welcoming back a special guest, Autumn Clifford, for an impromptu phone interview. We couldn't wait to share some exciting news about an event that Autumn is hosting. But before we go any further, I want you to grab a pen, a piece of paper, or open up the notes on your phone. Don't ask why. I'll wait. Okay. I want you to write down Friday, March 7th, Clarion Hotel, Portland, Maine, 9 a.m. or 5 p.m. You're probably wondering, why am I doing this, Bobbie? That is the information for this awesome resiliency event that Autumn is hosting, and we're going to talk more about in this episode. And you're probably also wondering, what does this have to do with real estate? Well, if you've been with me for a while, you know this podcast isn't just about market conditions and stats. I want to help you succeed, and that's not just professionally, but personally as well, and that is where Autumn comes in. Autumn Clifford is a life coach, a professional speaker, a former law enforcement officer, martial arts expert, and the founder of She's an Asset, a self-protection and situational awareness company. In today's episode, we dive into the mindset and motivation behind her mission to empower us all. So grab that coffee, find that comfy spot, and let's get to it. Hey, Autumn, welcome.
Hey, Bobbie.
How have you been?
I've been good. How have you been?
I have been excellent. It has been a while since we've spoken on the podcast, so I am so excited you agreed to come on and share some exciting events that you have coming up.
Yes, I'm super excited. March 7th, down in Portland.
So March 7th, this is your resiliency event. Can you tell us what's going on?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm super excited. We are piling as many women in the room. It's been great. We have a lot of real estate professionals coming in, and what we're going to be working on is, as you well know, and if anybody listening has heard me on your podcast a couple of times, I talk a lot about situational awareness and self-protection. And this event is really combining all the principles that I feel will empower a person from the inside out. So it's not only situational awareness and self-empowerment focus, we're also focusing on the mindset and working with like universal principles as well as your intuition to really create a very impactful result as you walk out the door. I want you to really feel, honestly, very transformed.
You remember our discussion, and it almost was kind of like a debate on the word empowerment.
Yes. Yes, you like the word empowerment. I do not, but that's what I use.
I'm going to tell you why I like it. And this is what I told you. And I think you maybe had a little bit of an aha moment with this, is that you are sort of a badass. You have a history in martial arts. You know how to use firearms, handguns. You can protect yourself with, I don't know, you're a MacGyver. You can protect yourself with a pen and a piece of gum and I don't know what, a Band-Aid. But there are people like myself that don't have those skills. So how many events have we done together? We've done a few events together. And I know for myself and the women that I've talked with after the event, they walk out just standing a little bit taller, just feeling a little bit stronger. And the only word, and I'm such a nerd that I actually looked for a word as good as empowerment, I could not come up with anything. That is the reason, and I know it's such an overused word, but that is the reason why I just don't think there's any substitute for the word empowerment.
Well, and I appreciate that. And I really have you in my head every single time I use it because I remember when we were talking about it, and I'm like, Bobbie, it just sounds so cliche. Like, I don't know. And you're like, Autumn, really, that's how I feel. It's how the women feel when they leave your class. Like, it's a great word. And so I took your advice, and now that's how I'm describing the feeling.
Good, good. Well, I'm glad that I had a little bit of an influence. So I was trying to describe you the other day to one of my friends, and I said she is this great woman, this great friend. She's a badass, as I said earlier, takes no shit. However, you also have this other really lovely, like we've had a lot of soulful conversations. And I think that's what makes your events and your training so impactful and so special.
I really appreciate you saying that and highlighting that. When I first started with this event, I called it soul-led self-protection, as that really it's really what I believe that I teach, because everything for me is intuitive and it really comes from, my heart and my soul. And I really just have to say that I don't think that you can split it. And I think that that's where there's a lot of programs that are not giving us the best results, if that makes sense. And because they're not combining the empowerment of being able to protect yourself, situational awareness, to have mindset and resiliency. They're not combining. It's not a body, mind, and soul holistic approach. And the thing is, Bobbie, is we are that, like, we are body, mind, and soul. Everything we do is, and so it's really important to me that my teachings do encompass that. In fact, I'm going to tell you a really fun fact. I traveled the country going into law enforcement, like going into departments and teaching these principles, full day trainings, teaching female officers literally how to manifest and like spiritual principles and universal principles. And they loved it because it encompassed who, like, everything. It wasn't just this whole like logical mindset kind of deal. Does that make sense?
So you mentioned traveling the country. I know that you are a life coach and you have worked with people and women all over the country, all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
I get a little bit of free life coaching because we're friends. How much of your life coaching background goes into these types of events?
A lot. I've been coaching professionally for the last 9 years. Prior to that, I was a law enforcement officer. And I can tell you during my tenure as a law enforcement officer, I was definitely a life coach every single call I went on. But then when it became my job because I was injured in the line of duty, it not only being a coach, but also going through having my own coaches, having my own, therapists, going through my own evolution and transformation, I believe, has really impacted my teachings and have made them more wholesome. It also gives me the ability to be able to meet my people where they're at and hopefully bring them on this journey, even in the 3 hours. Like, this event's only, it's only going to be a 3 hour event. I'm used to doing full day events. I'm very excited that it's 3 hours because I just want people to kind of dip their toes in and be like, hey, I like her. I like what she's doing, or, this isn't for me. But, I think, Bobbie, it really gives me the capacity and the tools to be able to serve my people in a deeper way than somebody who hasn't done their own work, who has not been a life coach, and who doesn't care to bring the whole body, mind, and soul approach to what they do.
I'm so excited for the event. I bought my ticket today, so I'm super excited about it. And I want to make it very clear, this is obviously the Maine Real Estate Roundtable podcast, and you have done many events for our real estate agents, our lender friends. But can you talk about just how it's far-reaching beyond just a real estate professional?
Yeah, absolutely. And here's what I'd like to say. Just remember, even though that is your career, that's your professional title, you're so much more than your job. And that is definitely something that I've taught law enforcement, because one day something could happen and the career you're no longer in that career. Like me, I was overnight and I was injured and I was done. And so I kind of just want to throw that out there that, I have a lot of respect for my real estate professionals. I have been so lucky to be able to travel the state teaching so many wonderful real estate professionals. But also this event is great for you, specifically for being, an entrepreneur. All of you being entrepreneurs, this is going to be great for you. But also, I have a lot of moms bringing their teenage daughters. We have Girl Scouts, we have preteens, teens coming. Men are welcome. And this really is about building resiliency. And in this day and age, we need it. We need it now more than ever. We need to be able to pick ourselves back up quickly, and we need to be able to move forward in it, and I'm using the word again, but in a very empowered way. And true empowerment is not on the outside. It's not if you can go shoot a gun, if you can, even if you can fight, like that's not true empowerment. True empowerment, in my mind, is when you are connected to who you actually are. You're connected to your gut. You're connected to your heart, and you're living an empowered life when you also have the ability to know how to handle yourself and take care of your family, right? So it's this whole thing, which we're going to be talking about. And, I'm excited, Bobbie, because I don't think Maine's seen anything like what I'm about to do. And I'm also equally excited because we're almost sold out. So there's two different sessions. There's the day session that you're going to be coming to from 9 to noon. That currently has 9 tickets left. And then we have an evening one from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. And that has a little more seating, but again, we're filling up, and I'm very excited. And so anybody who's listening, there will be a link. I'm hoping, Bobbie, you'll link it. And we can, we'll get you a seat. We'll get in. If you're a real estate professional, all of your friends will be there in the morning. So try to get into that one. It's in Portland at the Clarion Hotel on Congress Street. It's great because it's right off the interstate. So it's right off the Congress Street exit off 295. And anybody who's coming down from the northern area, we do have, you grab a room at a discounted rate. It's right on the website. And if you have any questions at all, please feel free to let me know. You can email me, autumn@autumnclifford.com, or you can just go into social media and look up She's an Asset on any social media page and just message me. I run them all.
So my last question for you is, besides the word empowerment, how do you want your attendees, women probably primarily, to feel as they walk out of this event?
That's such a good question. Here's what comes up for me. I want them to feel transformed, because here's really how I feel. I feel like a lot of times we put ourselves in a box. We limit ourselves. We think that we can't do certain things. We think that we are a certain way. And for some reason, we've completely convinced ourselves that we are just this way and life is just this way. But yet a lot of times we're yearning for more. And so in this training, I'm going to teach you how to get out of that box. And a lot of times I'm going to teach you and show you, you put yourself in a box and empower you in a way that maybe you haven't been. And my hopes is you're going to leave, if not fully transformed, you're going to leave on your path of transformation. There's going to be, I'm asking everybody to bring a pen and paper. You're going to be doing some workbook stuff. You're going to have journal prompts. You're going to leave with tools for you for the rest of your life.
And after you leave the event, you don't go away. I know that about you. You follow-up events, you have online programs, you have life coaching, you have She's an Asset. Can you talk about what that support is and how Autumn sticks around after the event?
I love that you said that I don't go away. I really don't go away. I really am like that person who's always around.
Okay. I'm happy about that.
Oh, it's so funny. Bobbie, here's what I'm looking to do. To be honest with you, I'm looking to host 4 big events a year. I'm hoping to come up to the Bangor area and host an event. And I'm sure you'll be involved in that. And in between there, I do one-on-one coaching for anybody who could use it. It obviously will impact every area of your life because that's how energy works. And I'm really excited. So this is going to be the first place that I even talk about it at the event, where I'm rolling out an invitation for a group program where you come with me, and we're going to have monthly meetups. We're going to have stuff online, and then you're going to come and hang out with us at the events, and you get exclusive discounts, and you get exclusive coaching, you get exclusive, behind the scenes stuff that nobody else gets, because I don't want this to be a one and done. I want you to come. I want you to learn, get those perspective shifts, get those mindset shifts, and then I want you to continue. And the people who this resonates with, they're going to want to continue. They're going to be like, Autumn, I'm not done. I'm like, no, girl, you just got started.
So this is the ultimate self-care. And I think I put on a post when I've been sharing your information that we always think of self-care as getting a facial or getting a pedicure, or this is some really meaningful, soulful, long-lasting self-care. So I hope that so many people join us in this event or watch for events that are maybe closer to them, because they definitely will be coming.
I appreciate that, Bobbie. I'm really looking forward to seeing you. We have a Bangor crew. We've got a crew of girls coming down to support and grow and transform. And I open invitation to anybody listening. Come train with us. Come hang out. It's going to be a blast.
Well, thank you so much for coming on. And this, like you said, is the first podcast you're talking about this. So I appreciate that. And ladies and gentlemen, this is not just about real estate. This is any professional or mom or daughter or anyone that just really wants to find a way to think about things differently and to see yourself differently. Hey guys, thanks for listening to the first ever bonus episode of the Maine Real Estate Roundtable podcast. You do not want to miss this event. It's going to be amazing. Friday, March 7th at the Clarion Hotel in Portland, Maine. I am going to the 9 a.m. session, but there is also a 5 p.m. session. I have put the link to Eventbrite to get your tickets in the podcast description for this episode, or you can email Autumn with any questions about this event or any of the programs that she holds at Autumn, AUTUMN, at autumnclifford.com. These tickets are going fast, so do not wait. Thanks for listening. Until next time, keep it real. This has been the Maine Real Estate Roundtable podcast with Bobbie Grenier. I hope you enjoyed today's discussion and will share this episode with a friend. And don't forget to leave a review and follow the podcast so you don't miss new episodes. The content of this podcast is for informational purposes and not intended as legal advice or representation by myself or any of the guests on the podcast. Thanks for listening, and until next time, keep it real.